My name is Stephen Rafferty, and you're watching These Are Questions. This is the internet show where I ask people questions about things, life, and such not. And today's guests are a pair of sisters. Comedic sisters. Theater sisters. But they're not just any pair of sisters. No. They are the owners and co-founders of the business This Is Improv. Please welcome Alexandra and Angelica Zadak, the Zadak Sisters.
Welcome to These Are Questions.
Hello.
Hi, Stephen.
Before we get into the question itself, I need to explain the rules of These Are Questions.
Okay.
The rules goes as followed. Alexandra and Angelica, I'm going to ask you a series of questions that are going to be based around your career and aspirations, along with a mixture of questions that are borderline idiotic and, well, randomly stupid. Do you two accept?
I think so.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Alexandra and Angelica, are you two ready?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Internet, are you ready? Take that as a yes. With that, let's begin. I mentioned in the introduction that you're both encapsulated in theater. And I wanted to know, how did you two get into performing arts? Tell me your individual journeys into being immersed in theater.
I'll start with me.
Yes.
Since we're doing individuals. I started in elementary school, or middle school, actually. We had this summer program. The high school had this summer program that would come over to the middle school because the director had a kid in middle school, so we were like the lucky ones. And after school, we got to play theater games, and we would play with the high schoolers, and it was the coolest thing ever because we got to play with these older kids.
The big kids.
Yeah, the celebrities, you know, in high school. And we got to play with this awesome director, Cindy Keegan, too, and she instructed us how theater works. And that was really my introduction. Later on, I would find out, you know, these theater games were improv games that we're still playing today. And then, I would go into high school theater and learn a bunch there. Then Nova Southeastern University really amped it up. You know, Mark Duncan has a great improv background. He is an alumni of Second City. So he taught us this next level of improv, really told us what it was, introduced us to improv jams, and pushed us to go to Second City. There's been Bill Adams, there's been Dan Gelbman, and the other instructors who have helped us along the way and helped us along the journey, that are the students who were in the program with us, just added this other level of knowledge. Like there were different people who brought in their own knowledge of what improv was, what theater was, showed us, you know, these different locations, and it's been a journey.
For me, it was more like I saw Angelica doing theater, so me being the little sister, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do it too. So I followed her into that theater camp. The director was also my choir director. And it was kind of like one big old family. And our dad used to show us a lot of old style comedy. So Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, you know, those basics, Robin Williams. And those were like the kings of comedy back then, you know. We became kind of like obsessed with it. And with Whose Line, we would take breaks during their commercial breaks to do the games that they had played. So it was almost like we were practicing with our dad too. And when I got into high school, I was more on the technical side of theater. I didn't do a lot of the actual on-stage stuff. I thought that when you do the technical side, I was also learning another factor of theater. And I continued that through college, and I did sound design for 4 years. I worked backstage. I built the sets. My boss was Margaret Ledford, and she is peak of the person you want as a mentor in the theater world. And Mark Duncan and Bill Adams were like uncles, you know, they really led you along the way. Dan Gelman became like our brother, and it was just a whole family of people who genuinely just cared. And I think that was the draw for me of theater, is that there was no alternative to it. There was no agenda. It was, we just really love what we do. And it doesn't matter if you're not going to make money from it. It doesn't matter if it's going to be blood, sweat, and tears. If you bleed on set, that's good luck. Trust me, you know. But it was that side of it. It was the emotional connection, which is what I fell in love with, because I'm an emotional person, which shock, I guess, because I ended up going into theater. And then doing improvisation, you're not allowed to take classes at Second City until you're 19 for the adult classes. If you're 18 and under, it's the camp. So at 19, I took the classes, and I couldn't even describe the feeling. It's like, it was just magic. It was just magic. The feeling of connecting with a group of strangers from literally all over the world. And that's the beauty that theater has, is that it's literally just, you don't even need to know the same language to play the same game. A lot of the games can be done in silence. So it was just something magical and something otherworldly. And we always say it's a free form of theater where there's no judgment, and we sound like a bunch of free love and hippies, and that is exactly what we are.
That's where it started.
That's where it started. So I think that was the draw, was that you can also use this outside of the game. You know, I can take the things that I've learned in theater and walk into a room full of corporate suits, and I can connect with them on a humanistic level. And you can't really learn that in an instant. It's over time. And I think theater taught me that over time. So.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I've done, some level of theater, and I've been around a lot of live shows. And I think how you encapsulate it is that there's no real feeling to it until you actually been a part of it. And that's what you're doing. Theater, improv, stand-up comedy, whatever the case may be, like, there's no feeling for it. But once you do it, it's like you're hooked on it. It's like, that's it. Like, I wanted to keep doing this, It's an experience that you never, ever, like, forget. You'll never not remember it, My question is, how did this is improv form? How did it conceptualize? What was the idea behind it?
Many eons ago.
In a valley far, far away.
On the summer's eve of 1984.
Painting the picture. Stars, sunsets.
I'm gonna
One
put
solitary unicorn in the distance.
Yes. Her name was Magenta.
Magenta. Oh yes, her.
Okay. So started with a unicorn named Magenta.
This started a long time ago. I was still in college, so was Alexandra.
Yeah, I was just starting.
I was just about to finish college, so I was discovering what's going on, what's my life going to be,
What's happening.
And it was around that time that I had also started going to Second City and seeing what improv can be. We don't have, I think, in Miami, there's more of an improv community, but here in Broward County, we don't really have that community based in improv. And it's just incredible to see what people can do with it, what it does to people when in that scale. Having people come together and connect and collaborate to create things that are just so incredible and have such meaning and commentary on their own lives. It was just something that I had never seen before in theater. And not to say that it doesn't exist, whatever, theater is beautiful. I love theater. It was just something that,
well, it's a different form of theater.
Yeah.
So like with scripted theater, there's the strict format. There's this is what happens. Here's your production staff. We're going to put this up in 3 months. When we started, it was 2015.
Yeah.
And we kind of, after seeing what improv could do, the gears started turning. And our mom is a psychologist, so she understands that side, the mentality side of people. And we think humans are completely the most interesting form of a creature to ever roam the earth, which is so true. There's so many different types of people, so many different forms of people, and there's so many things that people can do, so many feelings that they have.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see all of that come together. And what we really wanted to do was have that here, have that community, build the community, build that infrastructure. Yes. of a thing, of a feeling of that pure joy that you feel while improvising. Because I didn't see anything with improv really in Broward, that's how the name really happened. I was going to sleep one night trying to like figure out
we had
to call this thing.
So many names. I will even tell. Okay, my favorite one that we were gonna call the company was Cage Free Improv,
because it's baby and it's like a farm thing. That was our first concept.
And we're organic, right?
And we're free. Like we're free forming. So,
but we went with the more blunt version of this is improv.
My favorite was Organic Unity Theater Organic
Oh.
Unity Improv, and it was going to be abbreviated to you improv.
Ah, okay. I like that one. That one's good.
Yeah.
But we're simple folk, so we went.
And so we did that.
Yeah.
So when people ask what is improv, which we got a lot in the beginning, people didn't even know what improv was. We would say, well, this is improv. We're improv. This is what we do. And we brought it in, and some of the first work we did, like Alexandra was saying, our mom has a background in therapy and counseling. Mm-hmm. So we started out actually working with her using improv as a supplement to therapy.
Yeah, there's something called Gestalt therapy, which is the chair in front of the chair. So you talk to the other person as someone who you either have the stressor with or the trigger with or whatever it is, and you work through it using basically theater techniques. So we added in improvisation, Meisner techniques, and we would just play through what it is that they were wanting to get off their chest, play through if they were nervous about being in a new situation. We would go to a public space and play. And that's how we started off with doing the humanistic side of our company. And that's where we started with the person.
And it was really cool to see how it helped people at first, and it still happens today, but especially anyone who's not familiar. So working with businesses, working on that counseling side, not us as counselors, us as improvisers, just, playing. It was cool to see the spark that kind of comes up in people's eyes. Like, it's so real. People talk about the spark in people's eyes, and it's like,
and like you see it.
Yeah. And they understand, they get it. And there's this literal moment where they start to understand, I can use improv to give a presentation in a class.
Yeah.
I can use improv to talk to this person. It could be in a networking situation, and they would have never approached the other person like, I'm supposed to approach people.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to do that.
Yeah.
And to see, okay, now it's clicking. Now there's something manageable that I could do. Like, I can rehearse this. And it's so cool to see people get that and just light up.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why our saying throughout the website is unconventionally helping individuals in work and life, because it's, like I said before, you could just take exactly what you learned in the theater setting, in the improv setting, and put it into your real life, because it's all problem solving. If you really think about it, there's a focus from the game, and there are problem solving skills throughout the entirety of your theater career. You just have to. I have to learn a script the night before because I have an audition. Okay, how do I do that? How do I focus? Or I have to go on stage right now because Rick got called out sick, so now I have to fill in for him. Okay, what do I do here? And that's what was so interesting involving starting the company. I mean, it was so scary.
Yeah.
It was so scary. I was 19, so it was terrifying to still be in college and still have to worry about my exams, and then go teach kids improv at like 9 o'clock at night doing something else, Right. So, but it's an obsession. You love it. You can't live with it. Like, I cannot imagine.
That's what we call a passion.
A passion.
It is a passion, yes.
No, it's a totally healthy passion.
Yes.
Totally healthy, 100%.
100%.
100%.
100%.
100. Sure. Yeah.
100 Brazilian percent, gazillion.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
But you should be respected, and you should be appreciative for the fact that you both opened a business at a young age, and you're still continually going with it. And I'm happy for all the continual successes that you're going to have with This Is Improv. But my next question is, I want each of you, to pick a number from 1 to 10 and explain why you picked that number.
8.
13.
No, what?
No,
Out of
you're breaking the rules. The rules. This is my show.
Okay. 3.
Okay, and why? Besides the fact that I told you to change the number.
8 is just infinity on its side.
Oh, okay. And, Alex, besides the fact that I told you to change the number.
Okay,
Why 3?
so 3 because it is a lucky number. I even have birthmarks in the patterns of 3s. All good things come in 3s, kind of thing. So like that's for me. 13 was just a different one. It's just like it's a fun number. It's the date where my parents got engaged. Lucky number 13. Friday the 13th is actually a lucky day for this family. So
It's the same here for me, my family as well. It's the day my parents met as well. It was on the 13th, on Friday the 13th.
13 is lucky.
So it is, but it doesn't do the rule.
I'm sorry. I'll follow the rules from now on. I apologize.
Thank you. It's okay. Remember those numbers for the end of the season, because it's going to play a very important role. So you may want to write it down. You may want to put a sticky note. Maybe memorize it every single day. That number that each of you have chosen. It's going to play a big role at the end. So
I'm going to forget.
I wrote it down.
Good. I'm glad.
3 is like half of 8. If you cut,
we complete each other.
yeah.
I'm happy that This Is Improv has reached many successes, and I'm glad that you two are passionately into it. So I wanted, though, to talk about one particular instance that I wanted to mention for your troupe, was that your improv company opened for Trevor Noah, and that's a big deal. And I wanted to know, how was the experience, and how did that come to be? Because that's really interesting, and I think it's really awesome you got the chance to open for him.
Yeah, that was thanks to Mark Duncan.
Yeah.
He's one of our mentors, but also like a family member to us. He was contacted by the school to see like, is there any opening acts that you feel the PVA, which was at the time it was the PVA, could go on stage and perform, and he suggested our company.
Yeah.
It was a huge honor, and I wanted to pee myself and cry at the same time, because it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that would be witnessing one of our biggest performances as a troupe.
I think it was 2,000 people.
2,000 people, yeah.
And for reference. It was a big arena. This was not like a little tiny, theater hall or anything like that. This was a big storm arena, and it was a full house. I remember I was lucky enough to be there as well and watch you guys perform, and you guys did great, by the way. You're welcome. But I just remember that was a huge experience, and I was so happy for you two, obviously, but also for the improv troupe, for everyone involved that got a chance to perform, because you don't get to do that every day, This next question is for Alex. If you had to have a dream improv troupe of past or present stars, who would be in your troupe? Can't include Angelica. Can't include your sister.
Okay, how many people do I have? Like
as many
5?
as you want. As many as you want. You can have 200.
Oh, that's a lot.
I'm just saying.
It's a lot of energy. Total of 5, including me. Then I would have Angelica, because it's just like we're really good together on stage. Betty White.
Stop breaking the rules.
Broke the rules, but it's okay. It's okay. I understand.
Oh, did you say I can't have Angelica?
No, I didn't. I said no.
That before you
I don't know why I thought you said that I could have Angelica. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's strike 2.
It's me. It's been a long day. I equate with that long day. I can include myself.
Yes, you can include yourself. Yes, just not your sister.
Boo.
I didn't get the part.
Betty White, Robin Williams, Wayne Brady,
Okay.
and Keegan-Michael Keyes.
Okay.
That is a power pack right there.
That is a power pack. So this next question is for Angelica. Which, yes, I do for both. Which historical figure would you want to do an improv session with?
Okay, I got one. Let me know if this is on the rules. So I would really love to do a session with Viola Swollen.
What an improv nerd, am I right?
She is why improv is what it is today. She's
Mama Improv.
Yeah. Her son really made it popular and brought it to theater, but she was the one who created the games and the techniques that could be used in theater. There's improv as we know it today, and it's based on entertainment. You know, we're using improv to entertain people as a means of an end. Did I say that correctly? I hope so.
Yes. Means to an end. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Means to an end.
Yeah.
And when she did improv, it was really to get in touch with your intuition and to break away from what we knew as a society, break away from societal norms, create something that was very idealistic as far as we could all get along. We can all work together to solve all of our problems. And that's what the games really did. So, you know, she'd probably yell at me like, oh, you're trying to win the game. You're trying to do this. You're being too performative. But I would just so love to have that time with her. That would be absolutely incredible.
Just want to hold her hand.
Just want to be with her.
Like, whoa.
I want to be like, oh my God, is that you, Viola?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that choice. Good answers, ladies.
Thank you. Good questions.
Thank you. I
I'm
tried.
gonna cry a little. It's okay.
I want to cry. It's fine.
I'm going to stick with you, Angelica, for the next question. In one word, Angelica, can you describe to me what Dungeons & Dragons are for someone who's never played Dungeons & Dragons?
Imagination.
Yeah.
For you, Alex, if you were a magician, what would be your go-to magic trick?
Ooh. I am always fascinated with the splitting people in half trick.
No.
You see them like they open the things, and I just want to saw people in half and then put them back together.
As a person who
Hold on.
typically is on stage with her, this concerns me.
Really?
I promise I'm a good person. I'm a nice person. But like you're guaranteed to get back together. You know what I mean? Like you're guaranteed.
It's magic.
Because it's magic.
But it's magic. We don't know the mysteries of magic.
You will get back together because I am a trained magician. See?
Back to both of you. So, you know, each sister, they have different personalities. And, you know, especially when it comes to improv, or especially just in general, are either of you more of a adrenaline junkie type person in terms of just living life and going on an adventure, or you're more of kind of a too mellow, kind of cool cat, just kind of chilling like a villain kind of deal? What are your personalities like?
This would shock you. She's the adrenaline junkie.
Okay.
And I'm the one who just wants to sit on my couch with a book. You know.
I don't like heights.
She doesn't like heights. It's not like that. It's just more of like, if we're out and it's 10 o'clock at night, right? Mm-hmm. We're tired. We just saw a show. We just had dinner, whatever. And then she's like, oh my God, let's go to the park and just walk around to see the nightlife. Like instantly, when we're getting in the car to go home, it's like, you know what we should do?
We're already in it.
You know, okay, we're at the museum, right? We've had a long day, right? These are just scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of it, she'll say, you know what we should do? Let's just go to Orlando.
Oh, okay.
You never say okay.
Yeah.
No
we
one I
never
with
say yes to her.
Says okay.
But those are the kinds of things. She's like, let's just go on a road trip tomorrow.
I'm surprised you remember this because this is so long ago that I would have these conversations. Now I'm stuck to video games. That's where I get my adrenaline.
Before I have one more question, and it's kind of back to this is improv business, and it's kind of, we're getting into a jovial mood here. If I'm someone who's watching and watched this interview and said, man, I actually want to do some improv. Mm-hmm. What game would you recommend for a beginner who's never done improv before? What improv game would you recommend for a player or someone who's done it for a little bit, done a couple sessions, maybe want to get back into it? And then what would you recommend for someone who's done advanced improv techniques?
Okay. My opinion might be different from yours.
Ooh, that's
for
fine.
For beginners, I always like to start with a one word at a time story. So once upon a time. So each person can only say one word at a time and have to make a complete beginning, middle, and end story. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the basic of trusting each other to finish the thing kind of thing, and making a complete story together. Now that I think of it, there's also Pete Repeat.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to say?
No.
Oh, Pete.
I'm going to say something completely different from you.
Oh, what are you going to say? I'm sorry. Pete Repeat. Pete Repeat is a game where you do a physical and verbal thing. So I could go, woo, and then the person would have to kind of copy me to the best of their ability and go around the circle. And it's like a physical game of telephone. And that's like the trust.
I'm going to just railroad her here. And yeah, okay. Here we go. So this is my opinion. We do mainly short form improv. And I personally believe that at any level, you can do any of the games. Okay. And like when I teach a class, we do drop-in classes. So that means any level can join in the class. And what we do is we, like Alexandra was saying, you start out with those warm-up games, like things that are pretty easy to get a handle on, and then you work up to like the scenic games where it's like where it frees genres, whichever you're doing, something a little bit more long form like biography. And even if people don't quite get it right away, just seeing what they naturally come up with is so much fun. And you can see them kind of getting out of their shell, like, oh, is this what improv is? Okay, this is what we're starting to do. I'd say if you're looking to have fun with improv, Freeze is cool, and because it's really free formed, you get to have fun and play around with literally whatever you want. And I like genres, because if you like movies, you like genres. So I'm sorry, I railroaded you. Long form, getting back to long form, I'd say that's a little bit more for an advanced player. Yeah. If you're used to short form, because you have to train a little bit more to get into it. It's really rewarding. Really rewarding. But
you train with short form games to do long form. So you know, there's the monologue aspect of it that fuels the rest of the entirety of the show. You get one suggestion and then you can have a show for an hour.
Where the short form is constant back and forth with the audience. Yeah,
it's super high energy, and you're just you're constantly switching your brain.
So that's a complicated question.
That's a very complicated
question. How dareth this?
How dareth you it?
Shouldn't be in this. No. We broke so many rules, and then we made him cry.
I broke so many rules. Oh my gosh. My life is built on game format, and I broke the game.
I'll also say this. If in the comments later anyone has questions about what game should I play, whatever, let me know, and I'll be happy to help out. I'm sure.
We respond. Yeah. We're nice. I just might saw you in half one day.
Right. And break all the rules. So, you know.
That too.
That's true.
That too.
And if you can see here on my invisible watch that is not working, but I know it's time, this concludes our interview with These Are Questions. Ladies, it was a pleasure interviewing you two and talking about This Is Improv and talk about things, life, and such not. This is your time, anything you want to promote or any last words, this is your moment to shine. So whatever you would like to say to myself or to the audience, have at it.
Last words are everyone should try some form of art in their life.
Mhm.
It is very beneficial emotionally, mentally, and just for experience, you know. Ways to find us. We do this at the end of our videos as well.
Go for it. Do the spiel.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. The ways that you can find us are signing up for our improv writing, improv for life, or corporate team building classes on www.thisisimprov.com. If you have any questions for us about improvisation, or if you just want to explore what's going on in the improv life, you can email info@thisisimprov.com. We have a podcast called This Is
Legends of Yesterday,
where we talk about histories, mysteries, and ghost stories of Florida. So if you have a story and you want to hear your story live on the podcast, you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And again, email info@thisisimprov.com to give us your stories.
We also have a YouTube channel where we post sketch comedy, and we have improv tips. If you want to go back and look at those games, we have videos on how to play the games on Zoom and tips on how to play them in person, so you can play that at home. I also want to say, before we wrap up saying things at the end here, that Steven is also an incredible artist. We've seen his journey in comedy as a writer, and that's impressive too. He's been gushing about us and saying how awesome we are.
We give it back.
I just want to make it known that he is also quite awesome.
Yes, we really appreciate you having us on here.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a treat to be interviewed rather than giving an interview this time.
Yeah.
It feels nice on the other side, doesn't it? You know, it's like the constant praise, you know? Sorry, I blanked out for a second there, but yeah, it's nice to feel that. And I've been watching your interview show, Talk About It Tuesday. I've been watching a lot of your episodes, and it's really, really cool talking about many individuals in the theater and improv, industries, and talking about their stories. And that's kind of why I wanted to do these are questions a little bit. I wanted to get you two on here because we know each other for a while, and also I wanted to showcase your stories. You know, you're giving all the interviews, you might as well get one towards you, you know?
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun. Today it was a nice way to wrap up. Yeah.
Likewise. And with that in mind, for everyone watching, you've been watching this episode of These Are Questions. Take it easy, everyone. Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. You could be watching this at 6:32 in the morning in California. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, do it. Put it on your bucket list.
Yes, you could be in another planet watching this, possibly.
You could be in Mars.
You could be,
yes.
Or you could be in the unknown with all the unicorns, possibly. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like ours, the one that found us so long ago.
So long ago, a long time ago.
Magenta.
Magenta.